Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Between the pages today, we highlight the work being done to increase the investment opportunities within the country.
We have a plastic surgery, more than one plastic surgeon operating here. We have a hand clinic, Dr. Aird in Cornwall Regional. We have stem cell treatments going on in Kingston and Mobay. So we are doing a number of really interesting procedures here that diaspora people can benefit from in the first instance, but also tourists.
Plus, we'll be looking at community renewal through the Citizen Security and Justice Program. Please stay with us. The magazine unfolds right now.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Energy, health, education, agriculture, legal services. The list could go on and on and on. There are several global investors who are setting up shop in Jamaica with lots more to come. A discussion on investment is next.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk about investment and the significant role that investment plays in growth and in the improvement of living standards. We have with us the president of JAMPRO, Diane Edwards. We thank you so much for your company. Good to have you on the program.
Always good to see you, Ian. Thanks for inviting me.
Thanks so much. The recovery of investment. We had a lull after the period of the Great Recession of 2008. I was very happy to read in the World Investment Report about the rebounding of the numbers. The 2016 report says that FDI grew by 34% to 794 million. And we are now the second largest recipient of FDIs in the small island developing states.
Yeah, yes. We're extremely encouraged by that result, and of course we're continuing our efforts to promote investment. As you know, it has been a very challenging international scenario, but there are certain things in Jamaica's favor which we think have helped us to get back on the radar and to start to rebuild our trajectory in investments. One is that Jamaica has a very high name recognition in the international market. A lot of people talk about brand Jamaica, and while I would argue that we don't have a brand in the way that we want to own and manage and promote a brand, we do have very powerful name recognition which we can build on to create that brand. So there's interest in Jamaica from the international market. Secondly, we have a really stable democracy, and we must not underestimate the power of that in the international market in a world where there is increasing turmoil, as you know, and hot spots all over the world. So the fact that other places are hot and that the Caribbean is stable and cool, that is actually a plus for us. And then I think we cannot gainsay the fact that we have made real inroads into marketing Jamaica as a business location. We have some really game-changing investments on the cards. Certainly the energy sector, we find a lot of interest out of the US in the energy sector, particularly alternative energy. And you know that we've implemented solar farms, wind farms. So that's a buoyant sector. The whole logistics area is moving. We have the Port of Kingston, which was recently signed over in concession to the French company CMA CGM, which is the third largest shipping line in the world. And that's really critical because we have really now made our mark internationally in that sector. If you look at BPO, Gartner, which is one of the sort of Bibles of the business process outsourcing industry, has recognized Jamaica, and it's the only Caribbean territory that they actually recognize as being a location for finance and accounting, which should be of interest to people listening, because it's not saying customer service, which is what most people think of BPO as. It's saying finance and accounting. So a lot of the work that is being done here is actually in that section. So it's to do with credit collection, it's to do with processing people's back office finance issues. So one company, for instance, has completely outsourced their whole finance function. So they are operating in the US, their whole finance back office. So it's like saying your finance, take your finance department, pick it up and put it down the road. It's not down the road, it's in Kingston. We have another company that has all their outsourced services. So they're like their executive pool. You know, in the old days, you used to have a typing pool. Now you have an executive assistant pool, which is located in Montego Bay, again, a multinational. So we have a lot of talent here that we're not using. We're at the start of LPO, legal process outsourcing, and all those lawyers out there who are listening. This is what you guys should be going in. If you don't want to practice and go to court, you should be thinking about setting up an LPO. I know one company has actually taken that plunge already. And what that means is that if you're a lawyer, you know, you have to look up precedent. You have to look up the case of, I don't know, Brown versus Bent of 1954. You know, that's not a real case. So what you want is to outsource all of that kind of routine work. Let's say that you don't want to spend a lawyer's time bill at $250 US an hour doing. So you outsource that. We can be doing that. We can be writing opinions. We can, you know.
So this means that there are more opportunities for our professionals.
Absolutely.
The professionals don't have to migrate. They can stay right here, enjoy the salubrious climate, and still earn a good living. The president of JAMPRO, Diane Edwards, is telling us of the kinds of opportunities which exist for investment in Jamaica for professionals. And later, when we come back from this break, we'll talk about the opportunities for ordinary Jamaican workers. This is Issues and Answers. We take a break.
That's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity is the way to go for all us Jamaicans. Small business, big business, old and young, we are tell every woman and man. We want growth and prosperity for a better nation with a building plan. So we can build our product and sell our product and put more money in our hand. Our economy can rise to a level and build a better nation. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity to move forward on this land. Productivity, that's the way to go, we should understand. Productivity.
Productivity, pathway to prosperity. A message brought to you by the Jamaica Productivity Center, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
The president of JAMPRO, Diane Edwards, is our guest on Issues and Answers, and we're talking about investment-related issues. So there are a number of opportunities for Jamaicans at all levels. What opportunities are there, Dan, for ordinary Jamaican workers? Because one of the complaints about investment is that it is largely capital intensive. It doesn't create a lot of employment. When employment really in a surplus employment economy like Jamaica is a big issue.
Employment is always critical. So we see a lot of opportunities. So opportunity for people going into service industries such as tourism, which you know is growing, BPO industry, which is growing, and there are niche markets within outsourcing that we haven't even tapped into. Like as I was saying, legal process is one, healthcare is another. So nurses, instead of going into nursing per se, physical nursing, could be going into healthcare because they understand the healthcare business and what it takes. But looking at entrepreneurial opportunities, there are a lot of those as well. So if you look at service businesses which service all of these investments, you don't have to be big to be in catering. You don't have to be big to be in producing uniforms. Well, you have to get to a certain size, that's true. But you can be doing laundry, you can be doing errands. So for instance, when I lived in the UK, the UK traffic situation is really bad. Okay, so cars inch along because every 50 meters there is a traffic light. So they have a whole system of bike couriers. So they're on motorbikes and they're on bicycles. So you want to get a letter from point A to point B, you pay a money and a guy gets on his bike or his bicycle.
Saves you that hassle.
That's it. So we need to think of ways, personal services, to help people run errands, pick up the laundry, pick up the dry cleaning, you know, all those kinds of services. So we need to understand the services that are around a lot of these investment activities that we're talking about. So for instance, why aren't tourists spending more money in Jamaica? Because we're not giving them things to buy. What do tourists want? Two things. They want experience that is different from what they have at home, and what they want is some kind of souvenir to buy, to take back, usually something that is utilitarian, that will last. So that's what we need to start thinking about. I'll give you another one, ornamental fish. Huge market internationally for ornamental fish, particularly in North America, just up the road. We have a project that is developing inner city farming for ornamental fish.
It's a project.
It's a project. It's ongoing, and they are developing an export facility out in Old Harbor, where they're collecting, grading, sorting, and packing the fish, and then exporting them.
What's happening in health, tourism, health-related investments?
Well, everybody around us in the region is doing really well from medical tourism. So we've got Costa Rica, we've got Mexico, we've got DOMREP and Colombia. But we are not really in the game. We're in the game in a small way because when the diaspora people come home, a lot of them go and get their root canal treatment done, or they get their teeth cleaned, or they get their tummy tuck, or whatever it is they're looking for. So we have researched this whole sector quite a bit in JAMPRO with the help of some international agencies. And we are really at the stage now where we see the opportunity for this industry to take off. So apart from the research, we have big competitive advantage. So there are three things that we focus on: diagnostics, dental, and the diaspora. So the diaspora will be our first market, but from that we can expand, partly because you have word of mouth, you know, recommendation, and most people go to the doctor on a word of mouth referral. Your friend tell you that this person is good, so and then what we've done is taken a group of the medical professionals to Atlanta and to Washington, connected them with their diaspora counterparts, and what was really amazing to me was how people in the diaspora, even Jamaicans, didn't realize how much is going on the private healthcare market here. They didn't realize the level of sophistication of our local medical scene. And so we have seen now coming together, joint ventures starting between local doctors and their counterparts overseas. So we have now, I don't know if people know, we have a plastic surgery, more than one plastic surgeon operating here. We have a hand clinic, Dr. Aird in Cornwall Regional. We have stem cell treatments going on in Kingston and Mobay. So we are doing a number of really interesting procedures here that diaspora people can benefit from in the first instance, but also tourists. And we also have a state-of-the-art facility called Hospiten, which was a JAMPRO project in Montego Bay. So there's a huge opportunity in the whole healthcare region. We were talking before in the break about retirement villages.
Yes.
I think that's a huge opportunity that strangely our real estate people haven't seen. We have a whole lot of people that come down from the Midwest of the US, and they call them snowbirds because they go down for 6 months to Florida, escape from the winter, enjoy the sun, and then maybe they go back home for 6 months. But we could be doing a roaring trade in those kinds of businesses, because what they want to know is that they're in a secure environment and that they have healthcare accessible should they need it.
Yes.
And some of them, have dialysis needs, etc. And I was just telling you, we have opened a dialysis project. JAMPRO has a dialysis project in Montego Bay called Searlich, which is a returning resident from the UK, which we've just opened.
Good.
So.
We've run out of time, but we had also spoken off air about an exciting cold storage project. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, really excited about that, because I was saying that a really high proportion of our fruits rot in the fields because they can't get out from where they are, the remote areas, to the table, to the retailer, to the exporter. So this company out of the US is going to be developing a cold chain logistics company, which means that they will be able to go to the farm gate, take the produce, chill it down so that it lengthens the ripening process, take it to the wharf and export it from there. So they will set up an operation in Kingston and in Montego Bay. And this could revolutionize our agriculture.
We have to talk again soon. Dan Edwards, president of JAMPRO. Many things are happening in Jamaica, and JAMPRO is a pivotal organization. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya. Chop ya man banana, we not left ya.
Finger-licking jerk chicken, Helcher fish and bami, we run down yam and banana, roast breadfruit, sweet potato pudding. Jamaica food sweet. So let's make a pledge to use more local produce and less foreign goods. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow.
Sweet Jamaica, we not left ya.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program is galvanizing communities, changing lives by instilling hope in residents. Take a look.
Instead, I'm a new woman, walk up and down. I can't just know, say, yeah, wake up in the morning, I gone to school, gone do something.
We learned from some basic English and maths.
It's a wonderful experience dealing with the student from the inner city.
Positive reviews from participants in a program to boost literacy, numeracy, and vocational skills. It's part of efforts to achieve strategic priority number 4 on government's agenda, human capital development, building the capacity of individuals so they can effectively contribute to the nation's growth. The Ministry of National Security through the Citizen Security and Justice Program CSJP has been working with non-government organization Operation Friendship as well as the Jamaica Foundation for Lifelong Learning JFLL to offer remedial training to persons in vulnerable communities. CSJP, which targets unattached youth in volatile communities, recruits the youngsters. Operation Friendship facilitates the training at its institution, and JFLL provides the math and English teachers.
To deliver a 10-month pre-vocational program, which was aimed at 1, improving literacy levels, as well as their social skills with minimal exposure to general construction.
Using aspects of the constant practicing teaching method, classwork, assignments, tests, and projects, students were prepared for the Hard Trust entrance exam. If successful, they would move on to CSJP's vocational program, which provides advanced skills training at Hard Trust NTA.
Okay, today we're going to be talking about synonyms. Have you ever heard the word synonyms before?
Kind and generous.
Vacant, empty.
Messy and dirty.
You had to work from the basic letter sounds and stuff onto the other areas of literacy. It was my first time teaching adults, so the transition was a bit difficult, but I mean, I got into it. The guys made me feel comfortable, and so it has been good.
Class, what are we going to do today?
Change decimal to percentage.
What are we going to do?
Change decimal to percentage.
It's fun when teacher teach about percentage and them thing and teach you in a little tricky way to do it.
Students are interested in learning, right, and they try their best to maintain discipline and stuff like that.
And Mr. White is a living testament to what can be achieved if one is disciplined. Having been a participant in the CSJP, he completed his studies in primary education at the Jamaica University and is now empowering other young people. Administrators of the CSJP's pre-vocational training program worked tirelessly to educate and train the youngsters as they acted on strategic priority number 4 on government's list.
Many of them felt very stigmatized, and many of them had a low self-esteem, which resulted from the fact that they were unable to read at levels that they should.
But after intense work, a shocking revelation. 22 of the 25 students who took the Heart Trust entrance exams were successful, paving the way for them to move on to higher heights.
I feel overwhelmed. I say yes, I achieve what I come for. That was the aim, to pass the test. And I say yes, I did it.
I went to school from 2005 and I doesn't take up a book at home, and this program made me take up book and show interest of doing some work.
I think the success can be attributed to the motivation, to the quality of the instructors that we had, to the fact that the youngsters had to do the work which was necessary. We were able to come up with a new design for the syllabus, which really sort of focused on what had to be done in order to get them through the exams.
We are going to a next level, construction, getting a skill.
But the participants already have a rudimentary understanding of general construction, which will give them an edge when they begin CSJP's vocational program, Advanced Skills Training at Heart Trust NTA.
It teach me like to hold the hammer the right way.
You don't hold the hammer down in the neck, you hold the hammer at the end and you swing your wrists.
Well, my mindset is to inform other young men outside, in and outside the community, just to show that we get off the road and can come down at Operation Friendship and get it further.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it, I'm the world's greatest.
To celebrate the achievement of the youngsters, a graduation ceremony was held at the offices of the JFLL. The results of a survey, the Learner Performance Feedback, indicated that the program did much more than help participants pass the Heart Trust entrance exam.
87% indicated that their team building skills have improved. Excellent. 91%, I want to listen to this, 91% indicated that their conflict management skills have improved.
I'm that star up in the sky, I'm that mountain peak up high. Hey, I made it.
You can't really look at persons from the inner city and say they're not worth it or they can't make it. If you as a teacher just do what you have to do, teach them, love them, just talk to them about reality and encourage them.
Come to Operation Friendship. We are willing, we are able, we have the manpower, we have the space, and we have the motivation to help wherever it is possible.
And I think that many of them see it now as a launching pad for greater things to do with their future.
So CSJP, Operation Friendship, and JFLL have been working together to achieve government's strategic priority of human capital development, improving numeracy and literacy levels of unattached youth while developing their social and vocational skills, building their capacity to make them employable and marketable so they can contribute to national development.
World's greatest. I'm that little bit of hope when my back's against the road. Every duty vehicle on the road or the bridge. Listen the message. No overload. Quarry operator, haulage contractor, a trailer driver. No overload. Truck overload destroys our roads. I want to say, check your speed.
street. Check your state, make sure you're not overweight. Take the time to make it safe, even if you're little late. Some of the road they leany, sinky, twisty. Truck overload destroys our roads. To drive a heavy duty vehicle on the road or the bridge. Listen the message.
A message from the Island Traffic Authority and the National Road Maintenance Fund.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is urging citizens to be vigilant in their activities during the festive season. The JCF Corporate Communications Unit says criminals often use the busy shopping season to commit crimes. For instance, the police are seeing an increase in cybercrimes and is encouraging persons using credit or debit cards to be alert and monitor their activities. Criminals are attaching scanning devices to the card machines in stores and are walking around with gadgets that can interrupt card transactions to their benefit. When you do your Christmas shopping, if you are using an electronic method to pay, ensure that your card is in your sight at all times. Shoppers, make sure that you scan your surroundings to ensure that you're not being followed as you enter an automated teller machine. For persons who will be away from home, the JCF is warning against leaving your lights on at all times as a security measure. This, they say, is a welcome sign to criminals. If a criminal passes your home on more than one occasion and sees your lights burning during the daytime, they will know that no one is really home and break in. The JCF will be out in their numbers to protect citizens, especially during this season. But citizens are being encouraged to make security a personal responsibility.
In spite of all our differences, along with all our problems, I believe. And despite the crime and violence and men and women dying, I believe. From the boots of Dolphin Mountains, let all our voices ring. Oh, I believe. I believe that we can make a change and spread a gleam of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe. There's nothing wrong with Jamaica that makes this what is right. Oh, I believe. And regardless of our struggles, we can rise again. Oh, I believe. Mothers believe in us, but we must also sing. Oh, I believe. I believe that we can make a change and spread a gleam of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica. I believe. I believe. There's steam in every paper, ants in every classroom, I believe. Oh, priests in all our churches, God in all our homes, I believe. It's time to claim our nation and start the reformation, I believe. I believe that we can make a change and spread a gleam of hope across our country. I believe that we can join our hands and make a difference in Jamaica.
As we close out today's program, we leave you with this inspirational message. Happiness is not something you postpone for the future. It is something you design for the present. Head on over to our website at jis.gov.jm. It's your source for more information on all the matters featured in today's show. To watch this program again, click on our YouTube channel. You may also check out our other social media platforms. I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.